Hello, my chaotic crew. Bentley Michaels here. Thank you all very much for tuning in to week 2 of Paelias' solo session. Oh, you're getting to learn a little bit about this little scamp, and we've got some fun adventuring coming up for you. Hey, I think you've seen it out on the Twitters and the Instagrams. You might have also, I don't remember if I said it last week, but hey, we got Josh Lorimer coming up here pretty soon. He played Grayek on the Sneak Attack podcast. He's also, the DM and creator of the Titans of Altera. We're going to have a nice, fun interview. I got to talk with him for quite a bit last week, so that's coming up at the end of the month. A little Thursday action for you, a little extra bonus stuff. Make sure you're checking out Cheaper by the Dungeon. Make sure you're checking out Tabletop Crafter. Hey, even though you don't get the discounts anymore, tell them we sent you. Maybe we'll get that discount code back, and they'll be like, hey, now let's do 20% off. Order more things. And we're already recording Season 3, folks, so start of the new year, it's going to happen. But until then, listen to the music.
In a vast landscape full of adventurers, you are now listening to the world of chaotic amateurs.
And welcome back to Chaotic Amateurs, a very special solo edition with Paelias Ian Earth. I am your host and DM, Bentley Michaels. Across from me directly is...
Dash is Paelias Ian Earth.
And last time we met Paelias, he was in the bar. Imagine that. He was in the Rusty Tankard with Grokok as bartender and just getting wasted. When he tried to pick a fight with a were-tiger... that were-tiger was part of the crew of Roland the Red, feared pirate who has been slowly but surely sort of commandeering the island area and of the refuge of Malworth. And, he makes big shows, big claims, kills people, steals people, he's not messing around. He wants his cut of the money, people. And Paelias, doing hero stuff, freed a guy from getting hung and, burst out some classic Paelias fireball action, then went back to the Rusty Tankard where he met Tarod, Grokok's older brother, and who had just sort of put forth that their youngest brother had been kidnapped by Roland the Red. And he had, he's been on Roland's personal ship. And Tarod was saying, hey, let me go get him. And she was saying, Tarod, you're a huge half-elf with 0 sneaky powers.
Half-orc.
Half-orc, sorry. Half-orc with 0 sneaky powers. And then Paelias finger-gunned them and said, hey, maybe I could help. Bang, 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 wink, 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 pew, pew, pew. And that's where we left it last time. They're in the bar, and Paelias has just said, all right, let me help.
Paelias asks Grogok's brother, what was it, Tarod?
Tarod.
Tarod, you said that you've got allies, right? You guys have allies around here. Yeah?
Yes, I've got some friends that we, kind of try to help out as many of the town people as possible when no one's looking, or when... Roland the Red specifically is out. His crew are from other ships. He always leaves, at least one crew of ships here, and they're just not, they're petty thugs, and they'll back down, but then they just tattle to him once they get back if they remember what's going on. But we can kind of live somewhat peacefully when Roland himself isn't here, but when he's here, I mean... He's a half red dragon, he's not, and he's magical, and he's a bad guy. And so we try to do what we can when he's not here. But last time he found out that I was helping, and he just grabbed our little brother and said, you're coming with me, and threw him on his ship and left less than an hour later. And we haven't seen him in months. Now he's back, and we need to get him. And Grokok says, I've already said no. We need to let him either escape himself, but we can't risk him killing him. We are not the sneaky types. He's like, but I have friends. And they sort of go back in a circular argument of like what was going on before.
All right, where are your friends? I'll talk to them. Because I think between all of us and maybe a couple other allies, we could pool our brain power and we could come up with a plan to not just rescue your little brother, but defeat Roland the Red and his crew forever.
And Tarad kind of like looks at you and he's like, I'm sorry, one more time. Who are you?
Oh, right. I'll introduce myself. My name, Paelias Earnearth. I'm a wizard, also a pirate. I'll shoot
Earnearth?
spells. Yeah, Earnearth. Do you know my family?
Like Laurelin Earnearth?
Yeah.
You're from Laurelin.
Uh-huh.
And are you related to the ruler, Aenowin?
Well, yeah.
How are you related to Aenowin?
Where's my mommy?
Your mother is the ruler of Laurelin and the elves?
Yeah. No. Oh, you keep saying this. I've repeated it. Yeah, no, we get it. I don't get it.
I'm
What's the
sorry.
point?
So you're basically royalty. You're telling me you're a prince essentially, and you're here. Why are you here?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I am a prince. I forget that detail almost every day. Well, because my dad, okay, he was a bit of a scoundrel. It's my human side, okay? And he lived life on the high seas, and I followed suit. But I am close with my mommy. I like her.
He's so baffled because now, as soon as you said your dad, and then he goes like, it's like he realizes like, oh, I guess you are like a half elf. He wasn't, while he sees a ton of different type of people, you don't look like a normal half elf. You're very pirated out, and so he kind of like looks at you, and it all sort of starts to make sense. And he's like, sort of baffled, and he's like, if you're serious,
Yeah.
meet me out back of here tonight after closing time.
All right. Now we're talking.
And now
Finger guns again.
Yeah.
he's like, and try to have your constitution about you, would you?
I always got my constitution about me.
She told me about your drinking.
Okay,
go
good point.
Let's go a little lighter today, shall we?
I think I can do that.
And then he finger guns and he backs out of the bar.
Okay, you back straight into a door that is barred. And,
Oh, yeah, totally forgot about that.
and it's a huge piece of wood. It's not something that, and so Grokok was like, you want to leave? Do you want to go out into the street after? Yeah, I was like, she's like, you might want to leave out the back if you're going to try to go back to your ship, or maybe go to a different part of the island. I mean, I can only assume that Roland the Red is going to be searching for you.
Good point. Do you think I could lay low here for a while, and then maybe me and Tarad will talk out back later? Huh?
Finger guns.
Okay, she's like, yeah, go into the back, and so you walk around behind the bar, and you go into the back, and there's just like a small table back there. There's a little kitchen, sort of set up because they do serve some food here and that sort of stuff. She's like, can you cook?
I can only make like a couple things.
What can you make?
Mashed potatoes,
Okay.
potato soup,
Okay.
potato pancakes.
Oh,
Yeah.
real one-sided diet you got there.
Yeah, well, potatoes hold well, so you keep them on a ship, and that's basically your entire culinary experience. Potatoes.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Our morning breakfast crowd is going to start coming in, and potato pancakes? That sounds delicious. So why don't you start prepping that and help me out? As soon as the breakfast rush is done, you can start prepping a wonderful potato. Do you do like a creamy cheddar potato soup? Could you do that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And he winks.
Okay. And then for the dinner rush, I will help in cooking some of the meat, and I will require you to start making, mashed potatoes for the dinner. You can help me back there all day and hide. And if there's any sort of extra tips and that sort of thing, I'll put it towards what you owe me last night for drinking.
Oh, okay, so I'm doing a full 8-hour shift. Got it, okay. Not the kind of work I came here for, but here we are.
Or you could run out into the street. And
nope. Very grateful for this kitchen work. Let's get in there.
Okay, so throughout the day, roll me a, let's just see here. Roll me some, I don't have my DM screen in front of me, so I can't cheat. Let's go with, let's go with some charisma. A little sassy while you're cooking.
Okay. All right. 13.
Okay. So you start off a little slow. And that kind of thing. Like you're kind of just a little bit... you burn the first couple of pancakes, and she's like, if this is all you got, you're going to need to do much better. And because she asked you, she's like, make me a couple of samples. And so she's like, try again. Go ahead and roll.
Crit fail.
Okay, so you start a small kitchen fire, and she's like, okay, look, this is how you do it. Like, this is how you're just not used to it because you're used to cooking like on sort of like a rocking ship and that sort of thing. And so you're used to cooking on a rocking ship. And she comes back and shows you. She's like, okay, now, let's hope you got it. So here you go. And she says, roll with advantage.
Oh, all right. Yeah, here we go. Now, we're going to nail it this time.
19.
Great. So now after you've seen it, you're like, oh, sorry, a little bit different from where I'm used to cooking. And yeah, so you straight up you start doing it, and you succeed very, very well. You're knocking it out of the park. What page is that on?
Page is what?
What page is that? Number.
This is page 112.
Okay, I was almost there. All right, so you get through the breakfast rush, and she's feeling pretty good. She's like, people are talking, people are liking it. Keep it going.
All right.
Let's get that lunch going, and you actually start to kind of feel good about yourself. You know, you came here to make a change and make a difference, and you're noticing, like, whenever she brings back a plate or something like that, and they loved it, you feel good about helping the people out here, and you feel good. And so, the day goes on, you find your swing in the kitchen, and it's now getting, to be late, and you sort of got, leftovers, a little bit of each. So that's what they serve, like, at the end of the night for the people that have one too many. They'll do some reheats. You've got some extra soup. You've got like a limited amount of extra potato pancakes, and a limited amount of what the dinner special was. And, you're just sort of back there cleaning up, and then, using, if it needs a reheat, you're using a little bit of fire magic to, like, reheat the plate, and sending it out as the drunks. And then as you're fully cleaned up, you hear the back door open, and you see Tarad's head, like, poke through, and he's like, Paelias.
Yeah. Whoa, what's up, Tarad?
Come on.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We were meeting later. Okay.
And then he, like, shuffles over, and he grabs his cloak or his big coat and his staff and stuff, and he goes marching out the back.
Okay. And you walk out back, and you're putting on your cloak, you got your right arm through, and you kind of like, you've got this little thing where you're holding on with the left hand. You put your right arm through, holding onto your staff, and then as your right arm goes through, you pop your staff over up into the air and grab it as you're letting go of the other side and like shuffling your left hand through. And you get your cloak on, and now your staff is back in your left hand, and you look down and you realize that you left your apron on, but you're still wearing your cloak over it. And out back, you see two characters besides Terad who are standing there. One is very, very small, and he's a little halfling. And standing next to what you immediately recognize, just because you are who you are and where you grew up, as a wood elf ranger. Mm-hmm. And Terad says, these are the two that were most interested when I told them who I was going to be working with and what we wanted to do. I talked to a couple of people, and, a couple weren't interested as much as I thought they would be. But this wood elf here, Strolgon is his name. And the wood elf just nods at you, very, very, very elf-like. As soon as I said it was you, he wanted to help. And the halfling here. And the halfling walks up to you. He's like, hello, name's Dip. Dip Egglug. How are you?
Oh, I'm good.
And just like reaches his hand up as far as it'll go. He's about 3 foot or so. He's a little guy, and he's got short little arms, and and as he walks, he kind of like waddles from side to side. Hello, and you shake his hand.
Paelias reaches down and shakes his hand and goes, "Good to meet you, little one."
No, it's good to meet you. It's always fantastic to meet someone who wants to stick up for what's right.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to do.
And Paelias nods to the wood elf ranger.
It's good to meet you as well. What was your name? Stroglug?
Strolgon.
Strogon. I gotta say it and then it'll stick. Strogon. Okay, it stuck. Nice to meet you. Well, we got some work to do, kids.
And the half elf just raises his eye at you.
The half orc?
The wood elf.
Oh, the wood elf.
The wood elf just raises his eye at you, and the halfling kind of laughs. You notice the halfling has a little bit of gray in his hair, so he's just kind of like,
Everybody always thinks that I'm older or younger than I am just because of my size and my beautiful complexion.
All right, that was my bad.
Right.
Well, gang, crew, my rebellious, rowdy bunch.
Terad has told us that you want to get back his brother.
Yes, and stop Roland the Red for good.
Roland the Red. Absolutely. Never liked that guy. He always comes into town thinking he's better than everyone else.
And the wood elf just nods again.
So we're going to find Gremok. Well, here's what I say. I know exactly where the Howling Knight is.
Oh.
And Terad he doesn't know what that is.
He's like, my apologies. That is Roland the Red ship, the Howling Knight.
Right, the Howling Knight. Okay.
It's down on the other side of the island. We got to be sneaky, but we can get on. And I do know where they keep the help, obviously, down below. When they're not helping, they're chained up. So,
all right.
If we can get on, we can find Gremok. And anybody else who wants to leave.
Yeah, I'm thinking some recently released prisoners also might have some information, maybe on the inside information, you know what I mean? So yes, this could work out for us on several fronts. Well, I think we should get to doing it. All right, how do we, all right, Dip, how do we sneak onto this ship?
Well, we're going to have to be very, very careful. Obviously, I'm very stealthy, as you can see by my stature, and... What's that over there?
What?
And then when you turn back, he's not there. And then he taps the back of your leg.
What?
He's like, oh, I'm just kidding, but I am very stealthy. But I just wanted to have a little bit of fun with you.
Oh, yeah, I like you, Dip. Yeah, no, you're going to be great for this mission. Yeah, I think this is going to go really well.
Okay. And the Elf Ranger, you know that how Elf Rangers work, and he's good. He's got some, he's got some good attacks. He's got some longbow, so he could be your sniper or something like that. He could be all sorts of stuff. You got a fun little 3-person team here.
All right.
Now, and you kind of get that Dip is probably the smart one here, and like he's probably like the brains of the operation.
She's like, all right, now here is what we have got to do. We've got to, make our way over to the other side of the island, find where all the ships are parked. We will find Roland the Red ship. He's got this ghastly flag on it. Doesn't make much sense to me. It's all black, but it's got a dragon's head facing sideways, and then underneath it, it has this dagger or sword, but the handle is a snake with the face facing the other way. And behind that, like they're on top of it, is a 5-pointed star with rounded tips. It's the weirdest bloody thing I've ever seen. I get he's a dragon, but it's very elaborate.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything to me.
All right, well, I'm just saying. That's his ship. That's how you know he's rolling the flag. The other ones in his armada have similar flags, but it's all white. But the design is the same. So
okay.
All we have to do is get to the docks, lads. And at this point, most of the time they are off on the ship and they are out tying one on somewhere, intimidating people, whatever. There are a couple of guards left on ship before, so now is the time to strike.
Okay. All right, I think, since I am a wizard, I do have the ability to cast a minor illusion.
Ooh.
Some kind of sound or something out in the ocean, maybe like someone screaming for help, like, oh, help, I'm drowning. And in the darkness of the ocean waters, they can't real quite see it. Yeah.
All right, well, let's get to the dock and let's see what the guard situation is.
All right, let's do it.
And what we can do about it.
So, you guys are going to take off, and so you start making your way through town to the opposite side of the island. And this sort of island, it's a little bit, it's not too steep, but it does sort of go up. So you're starting to walk up, more and towards the housing area, and then you're starting to walk down to the other side. And you can see up at the top, you see a much larger pier than where you are parked, Paelias. You sort of have like this, it's like for smaller vessels and stuff. It's like more of like a little river tributary that kind of comes in, and so it's for the smaller vessels and houses far less ships. But this one is for the big orders, and this is kind of like where like a lot of the supplies and bigger things for the island can come in, and you can just see. As Dip had said, you can see the armada, the small armada of 5 ships standing there, and sort of like in the center of them all is the one flying the flag. With your dark vision, you can see the one that has like the red design on it, and just so you have somewhat of a reference for what I was talking about, it looks like that.
No, I knew what it was. Yeah.
Okay.
I remember.
And so you guys are sneaking up. Let's see here. Let's make some stealth checks as you're getting up closer, just to see if there's any other people that. Man, these guys roll well.
Do you want me to roll stealth?
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
18.
Okay. My halfling rolled a 29.
Oh, dang.
And my elf rolled a 26.
Jeez.
So they're sort of sandwiched in between you, and like, you know, there's a couple times where you're being a little, you know, sloppy with your footwork. Not that, you know, they do this more than you, and I don't think you've been this sober for this long for a while. So you're still kind of like, you're used to like your drunken master style.
Yeah,
of like,
I'm getting the shakes. Yeah, I'm having withdrawals a bit.
And Dip says, "Oh, you need a drink."
No, I'm good.
It's okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna just maybe do like a casual social drink kind of thing from now on.
Okay.
You know, just parties. But we're on a mission.
All right.
I got my wits about me. I'll see the ship. There it is.
There it is. So,
you guys get up to it, and like you know, there's kind of like the main road that kind of curves around almost like a beachfront, you know, like how once you get on the sand, that's like the beach. But this is like, you know, like a dirt walkway, and then like at certain areas there's like little wooden bridges that go out and kind of create the dock. So they're all about, you know, 20 feet out in a way, so it's not too shallow of water. And it's kind of like just little bridges all the way down this thing, and you know, and it could probably house like, you know, 10 to 12 boats at one time, and it's a big old circular bay area. So clearly, it's like they come in, and they have to come in and then go up clockwise around, and then they kind of like park, you know, like in a line on the, you know, if you're looking out at the ocean, it would be the left-handed side of the cove, and the right-handed side is where they have to kind of come in and like circle in, you know, and grab whatever dock is available. Parallel parking for boats, and left side towards the curb, and so there's about another 15-20 feet of road, so they can have like, you know, carts and, you know, horses and that sort of stuff loading big objects. But then about, you know, 20 feet away from where the little dock bridges start, there starts to be little shacks. You know, there's some late night businesses open. You know, there's several like little tavern stands, you know, where it's like it's just like people have certain ales, and like, you know, so that you can kind of like walk off your ship and get like a drink, and you know, they're selling, you know, fish and chips and that kind of stuff. So each little dock thing has like its own little thing. And then back, you know, as it starts to get up higher, you kind of like weave through like where people are living in little shanties and that sort of thing. And so you guys are kind of like standing on the side of one of the shacks, or like behind it or whatever. And you can see there's like two guards, two sort of piratey looking guys, and you would assume, based off of you know, Dip kind of relays the information to you that I just told you, and so you would likely assume that those two guys would likely be on that ship. If you'd like to make a perception to see if you can see anybody else on the ship or anything like that.
Yeah, I'd like to see if I can perceive anyone else.
Okay.
Standing guard.
Okay.
18.
Okay. So with your dark vision and your sweet elven eyes, you sort of poke your head around the little shack here. And the food smells delicious, by the way. And your eyes adjust, and you see one other person on the ship, and he's just sort of walking around in a circle. He's just kind of patrolling the whole thing, and just kind of, you watch him make one sort of loop around, and you know, he's just going at a leisurely pace. So, and it's a fairly large ship, so you know, you watch him for a couple of minutes. That's what you're guessing, just based off of a passive perception, you know, that you were rolling. And then you kind of hear the other two guys that are there at the bar talking about Roland the Red, and how, like, you know, they can't believe some guy attacked him today, and like how angry he was when he came back to the ship, and how he trashed his quarters and stuff like that. And you know, had to take a healing potion to get his scales back in line. You ruined his jacket.
Nice.
So yeah, that's everything you see in here.
So I look to Strollgun
Okay.
and I go,
Do you have something that can like put that guard on the ship to sleep?
Well, let's see here.
Like a dart or an arrow?
All right. I mean, I do have a longbow. Yes, I do have a. Yeah. Let me roll my inventory. Unfortunately, I used my last one the other day.
Oh,
But
bollocks.
I mean, if we're talking about, and he kind of like looks around and watches for 30 seconds, he's like, but I mean, if we're talking getting rid of the guard, I mean, I can just wait until he's on Oceanside and see if I can nick him and have him fall over.
Into the water?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. I like that idea.
and then real quick out of game.
Yep.
The other two guards are not at the ship.
Yeah, they're at like the little shack that you guys are behind. They're like eating and drinking.
Oh, so they're like on the other side of us.
Yeah. So
Gotcha.
So basically, like me and you, and I'm sitting here at the bar, and we just can't see you because of the back, and you guys are back there talking,
Okay.
and they're just over here drinking away, eating some food, just sloppy, talking about the day and how upset Roland the Red was.
I want to cast a minor illusion off to the side,
Okay.
so they would go and check it out. I can create a sound or an object. Create a sound or an image of an object within range that lasts the duration. The illusion also ends if you dismiss it. A creature uses its action to examine the sound or image. The creature can determine that it is an illusion with a successful intelligence investigation check against your spell save DC.
Okay.
So I'm going to create the sound 30 feet away from us, so they would walk that way and we would go on.
Yeah, sure. So you're casting it off to their left.
Yes, off to their left. The
Okay.
sound of someone going, "Help me,
Okay.
help!" Like they're maybe dying or drowning.
Okay. What I will say to you with that is that they are pirates and that sort of thing. So, maybe not the most willing to help, especially if they're drunk. But if that's what you would like to do, that's just.
Then I want to create the sound of someone going, "I've got so much gold in my pants. So much gold. All this gold."
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There we go.
That sounds good. Okay. Yeah. If you'd like to do that.
Yeah.
So do you relay this to your team?
Yeah, I go,
All right.
So you tell your team the first thing, and then Strollgun says, "I know you're a little rusty up there," and he says the thing. He's like, "But they're pirates, so they probably don't care." And then you say, "What about the gold thing?" And then he goes, "Now you're thinking."
All right. So I'm going to cast that, and then when they go over, okay, and that guard is Oceanside, take him out,
Okay, so
and then we'll sneak onto the boat.
so why don't you cast it once he sort of gets up into the helm area,
Ooh,
and
yeah.
and then that way we can try to time it right.
Ooh, perfect. You are smarter than me.
Okay, so he is going to roll. Okay, so he got a 21 to his stealth. So as soon as you say that, he takes off to his left. The guard's is right, still behind the thing, and you see him disappear in the shadow. So he can sort of get the right angle. And so now you know to wait. You're gonna time the spell with like when the guard's getting like right to the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're gonna cast it. Go ahead and cast it. What needs to happen for that?
I just create it, and then you have to make they have to basically investigate it and make a intelligence investigation check.
Intelligence.
So you have to
Okay.
beat 15.
Okay. And they're drunk, so I'm gonna give them disadvantage. Okay, so you cast that spell?
Yeah, 30 feet off.
Great.
To my right, their left.
Woof. And they have to beat what?
15.
Okay. Neither of them do. One got a 9 and one got a 12. Okay, so they hear that, and then they're like, gold in his pants. And at that moment, let's see here. Come on, Strolgon. 18 plus 9. Oh, yeah, okay. Totally fine.
Yeah.
I didn't look at his longbow plus, but yeah, 18 plus 9. So since it is farther away, it was a higher DC. It was going to be 18, but with the plus 9, he totally. So as soon as he sees the one guard in the ship, like he's like walking, and then he's like, the guard in the ship sort of perks up, and like as he's turning to like look, as soon as he's completely like his back to the ship, he times it perfectly and just. And only you and your elf ears knowing exactly what's going to happen. You sort of hear like the bow just ever so slightly, just, and it just, all of a sudden you see this guard in the ship go like, and he falls over backwards off of the ship, and you just hear like a,
Nice.
And the other guys are so drunk, and they're still hearing the thing about gold, and they're like, oh, we're going to take all your gold. And then you guys have an open path to go to the little bridge that goes out onto the dock of the ship.
Let's go.
All right. Dip says, so sorry to be a bother, but would you mind picking me up? Might move a little bit faster.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I'll pick you up. Go,
And
go up, you little one.
And then so like you pick him up, and you grab him like a football, and you just start like running, and you meet Strolgun. Like he gets there at the dock, and you start running out onto the dock, which is only sort of illuminated by the moonlight. The shops and stuff have their own little lanterns and stuff hanging around, so it's a very dimly lit area. And you're walking all the way out, and you get to the gangplank, and you're out on the thing.
He's like, all right, you can put me down now.
All right.
I sat him down.
He's like, okay, so, as I told you, they keep them down below. When we go on the ship, we're going to have to take a left, and the entrance is right in front of the front mast. Okay?
All right, let's do it.
All right, so let's all make some stealth checks.
$12.
Okay, one rolled a natural 20, so I'll just go with that, and then one with plus 7 to 16. Yeah, you're good. 23. Okay. And you rolled a 12?
Yeah.
Okay. So once again, you're kind of like rolling, and only because one of them got a natural 20, you kind of like click loudly and almost like fall off the side, and Strolgun grabs you and pulls you back, and it's like, quieter.
Sorry.
And he's wearing like lighter leather boots, where you've got like sort of heavier pirate boots, and he's wearing very much like lighter. So you guys sneak onto the ship with little Dib leading away, saying, all right, he's right over here. And so he takes you over, and you see the trapdoor. He's like, all right, I'm going to need one of you to open that trapdoor. And Strolgun like sort of like looks at you because he's got another arrow knocked, and he's kind of like sort of surveying the area just to make sure. He notices and relates to you. He's like, man, Paelias, that spell really worked. They're already down, down. They keep hearing the noise. It's like the noise kind of keeps moving, or it's like, and then they walk past it, and it's like driving through a rainbow. They keep like trying to figure out where this person is.
Yeah, they'll never find it.
So you open the door. He's like, I'm going to stay up here. Strolgun says that, and he's like, all right, I will be the first to go down. Don't worry about me. And with a 22, you see this little halfling like walk to the edge, and he kind of like gives you a little salute. He goes, toodles, and he just like does like, he jumps forward and does like a gainer, and then just like and just zips down. He rolled a 24 acrobatics.
Oh, jeez.
And so he just sort of drops down and like lands superhero pose at the bottom. He looks at me, he's like, are you coming?
Oh, yeah, I'm not going to be as graceful.
There is a ladder.
Oh, yeah, I'll use the ladder.
Okay, and so you use the ladder and you go down, and when you get down there, it's sort of dimly lit, but you have dark vision, so that's okay. This other guy, let's see here. I don't think he does. Let me check. Nimbleness. Yeah. He does not. Okay, so good. So he grabs like a little lantern. He kind of like hops up onto a couple boxes and grabs a lantern and then hops down and starts to go forward. And as he's going forward, you kind of see, the classic brig, if you will. It's a iron, crisscross pattern all across. Looks like a checkerboard. And in it, you see several people, chained to the wall and that sort of thing. And as he's sort of like running along, there's two big like individual cages with several people in each. You get to the second one deeper in the ship, and you see a younger half orc, smaller than both Grokok and Terrid, but since it's the only half orc there, you assume that this is Gromok. And he looks back, Dip looks back at you and he's like, "Is this who we're looking for?"
Yeah, that's the one.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
What was your name?
You, what's your name?
And he kind of looks up at you and he's like, "What's your name?"
My name's Paelias. I'm a wizard. Also, a pirate. I'm whispering.
Oh.
But like a good pirate, I know in these circumstances saying I'm a pirate is probably a bad call, but focus on the wizard thing. Grogok and Terrid sent me.
And then you see him like perk up.
Oh, there we go. I should have led with that. My bad.
He's like, "My brother and sister sent you?
Yeah.
For me?
We're on a mission to rescue you."
Okay, well then, let's do that. I don't want to be here.
Oh, perfect.
They're terrible to us. I mean, he keeps the keys on him.
Oh, yeah.
Roland, that is. That's the he I was speaking to.
Right, yeah.
And there is like a padlock on the gate, and so Dip says, "Well, maybe with just a little bit of luck," and like out of his back, like he opens up his little thing and like reaches in, and you see him pull out this little leather case, and you recognize it as a thieves tool kit.
Oh, you are full of surprises, Dip.
And let's see here. I'm going to set the DC because nothing's going on right now. So like a 12. Okay. 19 plus 6. We're good. And and so he pulls out two things, and Dip like jumps up, and within the one jump you see him put these two things in, and as he's going down, he click and then takes them out and like sticks them behind his ears like pencils, and the lock kind of just goes click with gravity. He's like, "All right, after you."
All right. I mean, I could have held you up when you did that, but
It's more fun to be a little flashy, eh?
yeah, no, I've noticed that with you. Yeah, you did a gainer to get down here. There was clearly a ladder, but that's fine. All right. Come on, let's go, lad.
All right, so you go inside, and he's like, "Well, I'm still chained up." And he's like, "Oh, 1 second, please." Okay. Unfortunately for him, he crit failed. And so one of his tools breaks off. He's like, blast. Hold on. I'm going to have to use something a little bit different, but I think I can jimmy rig this. Okay. 16 plus 6. All right. Yep. So he beat the GC. Okay. So finally he's taking a little bit longer, and he gets both doors on, or both shackles off of them. And there's about 3 other people in there. Some that are asleep or pretending to be asleep. And in the next cell, there's about 4 or 5 that are chained up as well. Some are looking at you. Some are talking. That's the information you have.
I don't think we can take everyone, unfortunately, because it'll be harder to sneak back.
And a couple of them like, "We wouldn't go with you anyway."
Oh, Well, okay, that solves that then. Wow.
Roland,
That was easy.
Roland's going to defeat you when he finds out about this. And that's like 2 guys like talking trash out of, we'll say there's 8, and now 7 with Gromok Khan, and then the other ones are staying asleep, or they look too terrified to do anything.
All right, well, I think that kind of resolved itself then. Let's go ahead and get on out of here.
And Gromok looks at him and he's like, "Are none of you coming?" And with a 4, his impassioned plea is fallen on deaf ears. Okay, so you guys make it back to the ladder, and he starts starts climbing up. Gromok starts going up, and then you go up, and now you're all standing on top of the deck. The how long does your gold pants illusion thing last?
Up to a minute.
Okay, I will say at this point that it has been in at least a minute, and you notice he's like, Strolgon says to you, "God, it took you long enough." Finally, they couldn't find the person with the gold, and now they're walking back to the little hut. This is going to be very hard to get out of here. And so, what do we want to do?
I think I've got an idea. I think I've got a pretty good idea.
All right, I'm open to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna cast darkness around them. Okay, it's gonna be a 15-foot radius surrounding them. They can't see out of it.
Okay.
They'll be real worried, and maybe they'll walk off into the water.
You're gonna cast it now before they get back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Real quick look. Here we go.
And does darkness follow them?
It spreads from a point you choose within range to fill a 15-foot radius sphere for the duration. Darkness spreads around corners. A creature with dark vision can't see through this darkness, and non-magical light can illuminate.
So I'm wondering, because I know how I did it in that other session where like it was like a bubble and they could walk out of it type of thing. That's what I was wondering, like if it follows them.
Yeah. Ooh, actually, I'm going to cast it on my staff because it'll emanate from it, and if we all link hands.
Oh, so you guys will be in the darkness.
We'll be in the darkness. So they'll just see a black mass heading towards them.
Okay. All right, sure. If that's what you'd like to do, I would say, so do you relay that to your team?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I got a better idea.
So you relay that to the team, and Dip says,
All right, I would say with that, let's make our way immediately to as far down the plank as we can, of course, so we don't fall off into the water. And then let's get our bearings and just make a dash forward. Hopefully they don't notice.
Yeah.
Does that sound good?
That sounds good. Yeah.
All right. Let's all make stealth checks to get off this boat nice and tidy like.
16.
good. Natural 20. 17. Good. And 17. Good. Okay, so y'all do well, and you're all sneaky, with Strolgun bringing up the rear, still like ready, half ready with an arrow knocked, and Dip is leading the way, and then it's you, and then Gromok, and then Strolgun. You're all in a nice straight line, so you get to the edge, and like you're right there where the dirt is. And they've just sort of sat down back at the bar, and they're like, "Oh, the craziest thing! Again, they're telling the bartender person like the craziest. There's a guy yelling about gold in his pants, and we couldn't find it." He's like, "Yeah, sure there was, because he, it didn't affect him, right? You just on those two."
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, "Yeah," and he's like, He's like, "I can get you like one more round, and then like you gotta pack it up. I got a family. I'm going home. This is super late." And so he gives them one big more, huge beer stein thing each of ale or whatever. Continues to clean. His back is to you, and I will say they are at a disadvantage. So if you want to cast that, feel free. Gather all your people, and then let's
all right. I'm gonna have them all hold my hand.
Okay.
We're all gonna link hands, and then I'm gonna cast it on the staff.
Okay.
And then it'll just to them it'll be like just like darkness has rolled
black
over them.
void.
Black
Okay.
void.
Cool. All right. So for you guys, let's. Let's do wisdom to see, because you guys were all staring at the point beyond, like where you needed to go. Right, where you guys were spying from before. You guys all made contact with it. You counted down. You cast your blackness, and now you're going off. And good. See, 12 plus.
So it's a wisdom saving throw?
Yeah. Okay. 15, 17. Okay.
18.
Great. Oh, I'm so happy. Okay, so
I am too.
so you all had the point in mind, and you're like, and you say to him, all right, I'm going to cast it now. And you cast it, and all of a sudden everyone's in blackness, and you immediately start moving. You guys mentally keep the image in your head. And let's see what these two idiots. Ooh, woof. All right, so they both have 5s, and they're just like sitting there, and they feel sort of like a whoosh go past, and they hear, they hear a light pitter patter of like, but they're like, it's like, it's like if you just all of a sudden, like, it was like this weird, like, what? I couldn't, there's blackness that, no, that couldn't be real. Why would I got cataracts? Is that what's happening?
Am I getting old?
Yeah. And so you guys are now like behind where you were before when you were spying, and you're behind the stand. If you'd like to lift it, you can. Or
yeah, I'm gonna lift the spell, and
Okay.
then we're gonna try and sneak on out of there.
Okay. Let's see here. Just make a basic stealth roll for me.
15.
Great. So you guys, and they all passed theirs as well. It was low stakes because it's now later in the evening and that sort of thing. And, you make it to, you make your way back up the hill and go through town. And then you start making your way back down into the back of the Rusty Tankard. And, now that you're back there, Dip says, hold on. I got a secret knock. Tarot is waiting for. And Dip, very low on the door, knocks, and it's like, I came up with that myself.
It sounded almost like a theme song.
And then all of a sudden, the back door opens, very kind of slowly. Kind of peeks out, and Tarad, like, as much as his big old half-orc head can, like, try to sort of peek out to see who it is. And you hear Dip saying, Tarad, it's me. We succeeded. And the back door flies open, and he walks out. And he sees Gromok, and immediately runs over and grabs him and embraces him. And Grokok runs out as well, and they all just sort of hug. And Dip says, well, this is very lovely. I think we should go inside and celebrate indoors. And they agree, and they go inside. And Paelias, you have just reunited a family, and that's where we leave it for this week. Ladies and gents, Paelias, the hero. I like that.
Reuniting families.
What are your thoughts? Let us know on the Twitter, on the Instagrams. Hit us up. Follow us at Chaotic Amateurs. Hit us up on the website as well. Or if you're a Patreon subscriber, we enjoy hearing your thoughts on the Unbriefing episode. So for this week, I have been Bentley Michaels, and across from me is...
Dash is Paelias Earnerd.
Grab your swords and keep on adventuring.
Follow us across all platforms with Chaotic Amateurs. Please subscribe, rate, and review our show on your podcast app of choice to help us climb the charts and find new adventurers. Or become a patron on Patreon to help our heroes continue their quest. Thank you for listening to Chaotic Amateurs.